In the first quarter of 2024, the actual economic performance among the major economies in the region remains strong, with the Philippines leading the ASEAN economy expanding by 5.7%, followed closely by Vietnam in advance estimate expanding by 5.66%. Indonesia, the largest economy in the region, maintains its growth trajectory of 5.11%. Malaysia's economy rebounded in the first quarter, expanding by 4.2%. Singapore's economy remains shaky with minimal growth of 2.7%, while Thailand's economy is expected to expand this quarter between 2.5 to 2.7%. The Philippines' 5.7% first quarter growth also surpassed its neighboring East Asian country, with China expanding by only 5.3%, South Korea by 3.4% and Japan contracted by 0.5%. On the report issued by International Monetary Fund, the Philippines is expected to outpace its neighboring ASEAN nations, growing by 6.2%, followed by Vietnam expected to grow by 5.8%, Indonesia growing by 5%, Malaysia at 4.4%, Thailand at 2.1% and Singapore growing by 2.1%. According to Asian Development Bank Outlook for 2024, the Philippines and Vietnam will be the growth leader, expanding by 6% this year, followed by Indonesia with 5%, Malaysia by 4.5%, Thailand growing by 2.6% and Singapore with minimal growth of 2.4%. The same trend was also seen for 2025, which still growth will be headed by the Philippines and Vietnam by 6.2%. The near-term economic outlook for the Southeast Asia nations in 2024 remains positive, supported by the continued expansion of domestic demand in a number of large Southeast Asian economies. Foreign direct investment inflows are also expected to remain strong, as multinationals continue to diversify their manufacturing supply chains towards Southeast Asian industrialized nations. Developing and emerging economies in Asia and the Pacific are forecast to expand by 4.9% on average this year as the region continues its resilient growth amid robust domestic demand, improving semiconductor exports, and recovering tourism. Stronger growth in Asia, fueled by both domestic demand and exports, is offsetting a slowdown in the People's Republic of China caused by weakness in the property market and subdued consumption. The following are the latest projected economic data, released by the International Monetary Fund for April 2024 edition of World Economic Outlook. 2024 gross domestic product measured in terms of nominal value. People's Democratic Republic of Laos ranked 10th in the region with a GDP amounting to $15.2 billion, while its GDP per capita amounting to $1,976. Brunei Darussalam ranked 9th in Southeast Asia with a GDP of $15.5 billion. It ranks second per GDP per capita amounting to $35,111. Cambodia is ranked 8th in Southeast Asia with a GDP of $45.1 billion and it ranks 8th in terms of GDP per capita amounting to $2,627. Myanmar ranked 7th in the region with GDP measured in nominal value amounting to $68.01 billion, while it ranked 10th per capita amounting to $1,247. Malaysia ranked 6th in Southeast Asia in terms of gross domestic product measured in nominal value with GDP amounting to $445.5 billion. Malaysia ranked 3rd in GDP per capita amounting to $13,314. Vietnam ranked 5th in the region in terms of GDP measured in nominal value amounting to $465.8 billion. The country ranked 6th in the region in GDP per capita, which amounts to $4,622. The Philippines ranked 4th in Southeast Asia with GDP measured in terms of nominal value amounting to $471.5 billion. while it ranked 7th per capita amounting to $4,130. Singapore is the third biggest economist in the region with a GDP amounting to $525.2 billion. It ranked first per capita amounting to $88,446. Thailand remains the second biggest economist in Southeast Asia with a GDP amounting to $548.8 billion. In terms of GDP per capita, Thailand ranked fourth amounting to $7,811. Indonesia is the biggest economy in the region with an economy measured in nominal value amounting to $1,475 billion. In terms of GDP per capita, Indonesia ranked fifth amounting to $5,720. Gross domestic product, GDP measured by purchasing power parity. Brunei Darussalam ranked 10th in the region with GDP amounting to $34.2 billion, while it ranked second in Southeast Asia in terms of per capita amounting to $77,534. People's Democratic Republic of Laos ranked 9th in Southeast Asia with a GDP of $78.7 billion. It ranks 8th per GDP per capita amounting to $10,241. Cambodia is ranked 8th in Southeast Asia with a GDP of $142.3 billion and it ranks 9th in terms of GDP per capita amounting to $8,287. Myanmar ranked 7th in the region with GDP measured in purchasing power parity amounting to $283.5 billion. While it ranked 10th per capita amounting to $5,202. Singapore ranked 6th in Southeast Asia in terms of gross domestic product measured in purchasing power parity with GDP amounting to $794.2 billion. Singapore ranked first in GDP per capita amounting to $133,737. Malaysia ranked 5th in the region in terms of GDP measured in purchasing power parity amounting to $1,305 billion. The country ranked 3rd in the region in GDP per capita which amounts to $39,029. The Philippines ranked 4th in Southeast Asia with GDP measured in terms of purchasing power parity amounting to $1,391 billion. While it ranked 7th per capita amounting to $12,191. Vietnam is the third biggest economist in the region with a GDP amounting to $1,558 billion. It ranked 6th per capita amounting to $14,469. Thailand remains the second biggest economist in Southeast Asia with GDP amounting to $1,644 billion. In terms of GDP per capita, Thailand ranked 4th amounting to $23,401. Indonesia is the biggest economy in the region with an economy measured in purchasing power parity amounting to $4,720 billion. In terms of GDP per capita, Indonesia ranked 5th amounting to $16,861.